everyone, I'm Betsy Golden. Thank you so much for joining me. I am concluding today my Christmas in July series, and we're going to do a monochromatic card. So basically that is, we're going to use one color, and then of course white and black can be mixed in because we have to, stamp images with something. And we're going to create a card with one color. So my challenge for you, because I've been doing challenges with this for you guys too, crafty challenges to get your creative mojo going and help you enjoy the season a little bit more, is to pick a color, doesn't have to be the color I'm using, and create a card just with that color. And then of course you can use black ink and then white cardstock, things like that. So I found this in my stash. This is something I did at Creativation in 2018, I think, at the ThermoWeb booth, and I've had it. I love it. So obviously my color is going to be blue, and you can do, when you're doing a color, a card or anything that's the same color, you can take different shades of the color and of course use it. So that's what I'm doing with this one. So with that being said, I'm kind of taking the, I think the easy way out, and I'm going to do a snowman. And I'm using this Brutus Monroe snowman set. It's been out for at least 2 years. And I am going to use a masking technique on it because I need to cover as much as this white background as I can with some blue ink. So I'm going to be using my Distress Oxides to do this. And I just took and stamped the same image on masking paper. And I'm going to just go ahead and lay out my little snowman over the one here to protect him, because I want him to stay white. See, that's the one thing I love about stamping snowmen, is they're white. So there's really, like, I don't know, there's not much you can, there's very little you have to do to a snowman. And this just seemed to make sense. So that's why I'm doing this. Okay, so there he is. I'm going to set this off to the side. I'll show you what I did in the card is where I put the sentiment. I did do the sentiment in a dark denim blue. I could have really stamped him too in blue, and I really should have, but oh well. I keep my little things in the back. Now, I'm going to tell you guys things that you may already know, but that's because I have some new card makers and people who are new to paper crafting, and they have asked me, hey, can you explain that more in your videos, because I don't understand, like, how do you store that? And so for someone who may have been crafting for as long as I have, or even you on the other end, that may be easy, and it may, be something but not everybody knows that. So I'm really trying to help out our new crafty friends and explain things that maybe you and I would take for granted. So that's why I'm telling you. It's not because it's not because I'm don't think that you guys, my longtime crafters, it's not because I don't think you don't know. I know you know, but not everybody does. Okay, so this one, same thing. Stormy Sky is this next Distress ink. And I'm just going to get that on in there. Oop. And usually when you do this, I'm not doing it like you would normally start off and then work your way in to the picture. I'm kind of not doing that, being a little bit lazy. And then I'm going to pop this off. The other reason why I like to keep them in the bottom is sometimes you don't even have to get your fingers dirty. Then we're going to end with this beautiful chip sapphire. And I kind of just did that one around the edges. So I am going to mist this with some water and have that react. I do want that look. I'm going to use my distress sprayer on this. I have two different sprayers. I like this one because if I do slow, it'll give me drops, or if I do fast, it'll give me more of a coverage. So I'm going to go fast first. Let that kind of pick up a little bit. Take my towel and there we go. Now it's starting to move. There we go. And then I'm going to go and just add in some drops. Like so. And you see how it's starting to react a little bit right there in some spots, which is what I want. I'm going to go ahead and just pick that up. And I like how that looks. I'm not done with this piece yet, but it's super saturated, so I do need to let it dry. So my little snowman has gotten dry, and remember, this is a mask, so I'm going to go ahead and just remove this mask, and we will be left with a beautiful little snowman. My mask is ripping, not my image. My image is not coming up with him. It's just the mask. So he is all ready to be colored in the blue, using turquoise blue on his hat and his scarf. And then you guys, I'm sorry, but that little nose is going to bother me if it has to be white or blue. So I am going to pull in some orange. So I'm making a new exception to the rule. You can do a pop of color, just a pop of color on your card. And like if it has to be like, a carrot really cannot be any other color besides orange. So, you know, just a pop, only a pop, nothing more. And then we're just going to shade in his cute little hat. I'm not going to do any special coloring like I did before with the Copics. I'm not worried about shading or any of that with this one. I'm just getting that on in there. And then his little scarf, it's going to be blue. And then we're going to add some snowflakes to this little guy, or around this little fella. We're going to emboss in white, because you can do white and black with your same color card. So there he is. He is ready. Isn't he adorable? Isn't that so cute? Okay, so let's go ahead and get our embossing done. I am going to take my little powder pouch and just run it over in case there is any extra moisture on it. That'll keep the embossing powder where I want it to go on my stamped image. I'm gonna get my tidy tray out. And I'm going to use these snowflakes. They're absolutely beautiful snowflakes in this set. I really like them. So I'm just going to use probably the smaller ones on this. And I'm going to lay them out first around my snowman. And then I will go in and stamp them. And remember, it's good to have it off the page sometimes. It just makes it appear a little bit more real, per se. And I like to go with 5. I might end up with 7 on this. Well, maybe I'll just do 3. See? So let me do this. Let me do a big one there. No, I don't want that one. I will do that one, and then these, and then this like little one. So it'll just be like so. Sometimes this can take the longest, trying to figure out where you want things. And I love working with the stamps because, you know, you can always mess with it. I think I kind of like that. All right, so I'm going to take my stamp block, pick it up. Again, I'm working on a foam sheet because this is a, there's no cushioning on this. So we need to make sure that we add cushioning, which is the foam, and that will allow it to get a nice clear, crisp image, believe it or not. And I am just using a regular embossing powder, embossing pad. Anything can work. And again, you guys, I want you to do this, and I want you to use what's in your stash. I don't want you to have to go out and buy anything to do this. You know, use what's in your stash. If you don't have stamps yet, go on the computer and download. You know, you can get some digital art that way. There are ways to make it work. Cut something out of a magazine. You know, you can find an image somewhere else besides a stamp or besides something you buy in a craft store. So don't be scared to think outside the box. All right, so let me go ahead and put my white embossing powder on here. And I get pretty generous because I'm just going to pour it all back into that nice bottle. So nothing goes to waste. All right. Now I do have a little bit of embossing powder where I don't want it. So I just take my paintbrush, my soft paintbrush, and I very gently go over the spots that I don't want it. And that looks about right. All right. This mat can handle 450 degrees, so I'm going to go ahead and just go directly on the mat. And you're going to know that it's embossed because it'll shine. And in no time at all, we have a beautiful embossed snowflakes. Love it. And see how it just really popped. All right, let's go ahead and assemble this card. This is going to be so easy. My workspace is cluttered. I apologize. So I'm going to put this down here. Make sure you always sign the back of your card. I like to do it like that because it helps me remember that I need to put it on this side and I don't put my card together backwards, which I have done. So I always try to watermark first, or I'm trying to get into the habit of watermarking first, I should say. All right, so I'm just going to use some of the art glitter glue and pop this on over like so. I cut my base down 1/4 of an inch on the top and bottom so that it would have a nice mat. Then my little dude's going to go right there. I'm going to use some pop dots on him, and I want to use this Joy. I don't even know where this came from. I think someone might have given it to me. I think I've had it for a couple years, so I'm going to use that Joy because it's blue. But first, let me use some pop dots, and as you can see on the back, I had stamped them before, and I didn't use enough ink, so I tried to do another stamp, and I didn't have my platform, and it just didn't work. So I had to just flip it over and do the other side. So don't throw away paper if you screw up on one side. Always try the other, you know. This is crafting. You can, you know, really, you can turn your junk into treasure, is what I'm trying to say. All right. So I'm going to put that about there because I have to put the Joy on the bottom of him. Okay. And then I have a ribbon. I was thinking about tying a bow as well on him around the edge, but we'll see. It might be too much. Sometimes you have to do that. Sometimes you have to really play with it. All right. Oh, I kind of like it at the bottom like that. Let me move that a little bit lower. We will adhere the Joy to the bottom of the snowman, like so. That's cute. Right, so I'm just going to put some adhesive right on the top, like so. we go. And let's go ahead and take a look at this ribbon, see if we want to put it on. I might change my mind. It's just I love gingham, and it's blue, so I thought, this might be fun to do. Let's see here. Let's see how we feel about this. I always make the bow really big and then I just go back through and pull it down and trim it. I think I might like the bow. I think I might like the bow. Of course, I'm not using my best scissors. Oh well. All right, so this is how one example of creating a monochromatic card. That's your challenge. Easy ones that you could do would be anything that has a snowflake, because it's white, okay? Anything with snow. Really easy to do for Christmas, because you can use white with your monochromatic colors and get a really cute little, you know, little card out of it. So I'm gonna fidget with this a little bit. Got to get that bow right kind of where I want it. You know, it's like, do I put it on top? Do I put it on the bottom? These are the important factors of crafting. Where does the bow go? Anyway, as I finish this up, I certainly hope that you enjoyed this series. Please tell me in the comments down below. I did this for 5 days. I was thinking about doing it for 12 days, but I thought that might be kind of long in the middle of summer to have 12 days. But I was thinking, oh, I could do like the traditional real Christmas song, you know, the 12 days of Christmas. And it was like, that would be really long for folks, you know, that might be better at Christmas. So did you enjoy this? Is there something that you would have ideas, like what would you like to see next time? You know, should I do it again? Do you want any other holidays like this where I take it 5 or 6 months before and just start doing, you know, a video? Let me know, because I want to make sure that what I bring you has value and that you enjoy it and you find it useful. And this was all about, for me, using what you already have. We as crafters tend to get so wrapped up in the latest and greatest that we get the latest and greatest, don't use it because, you know, in 2 months it's not the latest and greatest. So I'm really trying to make a conscious effort to go back and use up what we have and just, you know, maybe breathe some new life into it. And I hope that this inspired you and made you feel good about what you have in your craft room and allowed you to see your products in a different way, maybe give you some different ideas on how to do Christmas cards. You know, that's the most important thing right there, is just finding the motivation and inspiration and enjoying your art. So I hope that this gave you some really great ideas. Again, anything that you create, please tag me on Instagram. I will share it either in my Insta stories or on my feed, as well as on my Facebook. I'm Bets Golden, and Twitter, and my Facebook page, which is Scrappy Cafe. Unless you tell me you don't want to and you just want to share it with me, then of course I'll respect your wishes. But please tag me. I want to see them. I want to share it. I want to follow you, all that good stuff. And if you follow me, I'm going to return the favor. So, you know, just I just want to build a community and get to know everybody and make friends and, you know, provide support. Get support, provide support, find inspiration in you guys, and likewise. So I hope you enjoyed this series. Again, if you haven't subscribed, I hope you consider doing so. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Any questions or comments, please leave them down below. And let me know what you guys thought of this whole thing. All right, until next time, happy crafting.